But the thing that people said last year about the Indiana Fever was that Caitlin Clark was unlikable. Her teammates didn't like her. People were being body language police and looking at the team and how they acted with her. And this kind of cohesion, standing up for Caitlin Clark, we didn't see this last year. There were so many times last season when she was thrown to the floor or fouled hard, and there were no repercussions for anybody who did that to her. And now it seems like her team really, really has her back, and I absolutely love this. Absolutely love every single part of this.
All right, things got a little chippy in Tuesday night's matchup between the Fever and the Sun in the Commissioner's Cup Championship game. The Fever came out victorious, but not before a few tussles. First involving Caitlin Clark when she was poked in the eye by J.C. Sheldon, and then Sophie Cunningham with a hard foul on Sheldon to essentially end the game late in the fourth. Now, they were throwing out texts left and right in this game. Rodney, what did you make of this heated battle?
I make that the Indiana Fever are on the road to a championship. And, you know, like their team, they brought in a lot of veterans this offseason, right? But the thing that people said last year about the Indiana Fever was that Caitlin Clark was unlikable. Her teammates didn't like her. People were being body language police and looking at the team and how they acted with her. And this kind of cohesion, standing up for Caitlin Clark, we didn't see this last year. There were so many times last season when she was thrown to the floor or fouled hard, and there were no repercussions for anybody who did that to her. And now it seems like her team really, really has her back, and I absolutely love this. Absolutely love every single part of this.
Yeah, because they have the true veterans on the team. Like, I mean, Sophie Cunningham went deep into her Draymond Green bag. She was like, oh, no, like, let's get it. Like, she wanted all the smoke. Like, she threw her down and then pushed her or mushed her, like, you know. It was great to see. And what I like the most is that, you know, Caitlin Clark is not very, she doesn't feed into it in the media, you know, like she's like, no, we're going to talk about basketball. Like, yeah, we was scrapping on the floor, but I want to talk about basketball. And I really like that too. I was going to ask you about the press conferences after the game. A lot of people were saying that the officiating was poor, not just in this matchup, but across the WNBA. Do you agree with the sentiments?
Well, poor in what capacity? Like too loose, they allow too much physical contact.
Okay, so it says both teams said missed calls and poor management from the officials led to things going awry by game's end. Fever coach Stephanie White went as far to say bad officiating is a WNBA-wide issue and that everybody in the league is getting better except the officials. It's very strong by Coach White there. Very strong words.
She's going to get a full $500 fine for that. You can't say that. You know, they fines be a little cheaper than the NBA fines. But I think, you know, I haven't really noticed the officiating in the WNBA. What I will say is that they allow a much more physical game. And to me, that's one of the things that I wish there was more of in the NBA. Especially throughout the regular season. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not even mad at this altercation. The sports that are non-basketball, non-football sports, right, are all pretty much allowed to have, we'll call it a fracas. They're allowed to have fracases. Yes. And for whatever reason in basketball and football, it's considered a no-no. But in NASCAR, you see pit stop crews and drivers go at it. Obviously, hockey is what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, hockey it is what it is. Yeah. So, and even in baseball, there's bench clearing brawls, and when you see it, yeah, they get penalized for it, but it's not a black eye on the sport by any metric. You know, it's just like, yeah, that happened, and now we move on with it. But for whatever reason, when there's violence in basketball and even football, people try to pretend that it's some kind of like declaration of rap war. I don't know. It's just like they take it, they sensationalize it. I think that violence in the WNBA adds another element that will maybe help draw people in. You know, like I think that's a true possibility.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree. I had thought about it like, okay, is it because maybe they're not as protected gear wise as some of the other sports, but football has on the most gear and they don't really allow fighting like that. So I don't know, but yeah. I do agree though that I think that it adds that level of, I don't know, excitement to the game that maybe a lot of people, because I saw some fans in the back, they were like going up for Sophie.
Yo,
so
people go to NASCAR because not necessarily because they want to see the athleticism that, you know, is possible or that's on display with the drivers, but people go to NASCAR to see the crash, out, you know? And so there's a part of American culture that really, Exactly.
On
There's a
pit
part of
road
American
because
culture.
you, yeah.
Yeah, you cut me off, whatever it is. So there's a part of American culture that loves the potential for violence. And I think if the WNBA is able to, embody some of that and give people the opportunity every now and again to mix it up, I think that bodes incredibly well for the sport, who's still, obviously on the rise and on the ascension, but are still trying to make sure they get even more eyeballs on the sport. It's worth it. The product itself is worth it. So maybe you got to dress it up in a couple different outfits to make it even more enticing for a wider audience. I'm really excited to see what this does for the Indiana Fever. Obviously, Caitlin Clark just came back a game ago. They beat the Liberty, gave the Liberty their first loss of the season. Now they're on a 2-game winning streak, and now all things are clicking. And when you have moments like this, sometimes they help galvanize your team. It gives your team another level of camaraderie. When you're violent with with your teammates, and I've been there. When you have an act of violence with your teammates, I don't know, it does something to team morale. And so I'm looking forward to the rest of the season, seeing how this thing plays out, because I really, really, truly feel like the Indiana Fever have a good roster. Aaliyah Boston has been playing phenomenal this year. Kelsey
Yes.
Mitchell continues to cook. And Caitlin Clark, if she's able to come back and dominate and be the maestro, because she's setting in addition to her own shot, man, she gets so many wide open shots for her teammates. I think this team has a legitimate shot at the very least, making it to the WNBA finals. I mean that wholeheartedly.
Yes. And we know that Caitlin Clark is a superstar, but I kind of want to segue. We got some more time because people are questioning if Tyrese Haliburton is a superstar.
Yeah, Tyrese put up 4 points in game 5 of the NBA finals, didn't make a single field goal. Listen, he's injured apparently. He's injured. I know he was injured a while ago, but maybe the injury flared up on him. But even before the injury flared up, he was extremely passive. He was timid. He was not looking good. So I can't blame it all entirely on the injury. 4 points in the NBA Finals does drop your spot. It does drop your spot. Because if he played even average, his team would have had a chance to win that game.
Exactly.
Even with Jalen Williams going for 40 points. TJ McConnell, I felt like Rick Carlisle should have put TJ McConnell back in the game. He was cooking.
But it's that is your star, so you can't sit him. That's where things get tricky when you have these franchises, because you have this guy that you've paid, that is the face of your team, and so you can't bench him when he's not playing well. It's just politics.
What you could do is you could have sat Nimhard, who wasn't playing well at all, whose defense, which has been really great throughout the playoffs, his defense wasn't great. He was picking up stupid ass fouls. His shot wasn't falling like that. But TJ McConnell in that third quarter, he's literally the only reason the Indiana Pacers weren't getting smoked by 30. Mm-hmm. So you have to find a way to put him back out there on the court. His energy, his scoring prowess, his aggression, those are the things that the Indiana Pacers needed in that fourth quarter, and he was nowhere to be found. And I felt like that was a huge miscalculation by Rick Carlisle to not go back to a hot hand to at least see what kind of energy he could inject into the game. It didn't make sense to me. All right, but you all let us know your thoughts on fighting in the WNBA. Is that a nice little element to add to the league, or should that not be a part of the sport at all? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Hey, y'all, listen, we've been doing this show for about a year and some change now. And the entire time that we've been doing this show with Samaria, it's been great. She's been fantastic. But the next time we see her, she will be a different woman, okay? She will be wed in holy matrimony. And I am so happy for you that you found somebody to love on, to tolerate your terrible sports takes, and all the things. No, man. It's beautiful to see somebody find somebody to want to do life with. And so for me and everybody at the Fumble family, congratulations on your upcoming nuptials. Yes, he is a lucky, lucky man.
Thank you. You're next.
And on that note, Fumble family, we are out of here because she done lost her damn mind.